Yikes, what is this mess? Well, this mess is actually my current working on the 3 airplanes I still have in a box here to build, the 2 mini Talons and the Sky Hunter. And I pretty much have all the parts for the 2 mini Talons. I think I'd have to check on video transmitters. I should have video transmitters around here somehow, though. To build them up, though there's some problems. Let me rearrange this mess and we'll talk about what's going on here a little more. How's that? A little less cluttered? So I started building up the 2 mini Talons, mostly because I want to try the new Crossfire receivers. So I took the center sections out of the 2 kits and epoxied them together. Got them ready to go in. I have to cut some crafter's plywood and put a bottom in this just to mount the flight controller and stuff on. But there's the 2 center sections ready to go. I think it's going to be pretty easy to build these 2 up. They're going to be built up exactly like the other mini Talon here. And now that I got the center sections done, I think I can put in the airspeed sensor and then glue the fuselage halves together on both of them, along with the motors and the ESCs, and basically set that aside and start doing the wings. 2 of the wings will get video transmitters. 2 of the wings will get, I think one of them's going to get a Dragon Link receiver and one of them's going to get a Crossfire receiver, the Nano Pro. That's how I'm going to build them up. This time, different. If you watch the build of my first ever mini Talon, I'm not going to epoxy one wing onto the fuselage. I'm going to try to build these up such that I can mix and match the, let's say, the right wing as I want for either Crossfire or Dragon Link receiver on the same airframe. So when parts start getting broken, I should be able to mix them all between the 3 airplanes and pretty much keep a mini Talon in the air. I just like the mini Talon. I have problems with it, complaints with it, but overall I like it. So towards getting the mini Talon built up, I ordered some motors. And again, I ordered the Cobra motors, 2221 940 kV motors that the instructions on the Ardu plane site call for. I'll show you those right here real quick. This is that page in the Ardu pilot documentation. I'll put a link to it in the video description. And down through here, it has these parts listed. And I went with this right here. Probably should have gone with this as an alternative setup for kicks and grins, but I didn't. I used a 60 amp ESC this time. Other than that, this is exactly, other than the ESC, these 2 are going to be exactly like the first mini Talon, Cobra 2221 16 940 kV motor. And I did get the Aeronaut folding 9x7 again, right here from Atlanta Hobby. Those guys down there are pretty good. So that's the way this is going to be built up. So this is the 2 motors, 2 ESCs, 60 amp ESC. I already cut the BEC wire in it. I'll be using a Maytech flight controller, and it'll be powered. Everything will be powered from its BEC board. So there's 2 Cobra motors and 2 60 amp ESCs. I have 2 5mm shaft adapters for the shafts on each motor. I have a middle yoke set, 2 for the props on each motor. And then I actually have 4 sets of 9x7 props, 1 for each motor and a spare set for each motor, or 2 spare sets for if nobody breaks a prop, right? Good luck with that. There's actually another spare set over in the box for the first mini Talon. I also, while I was at it for kicks and grins, got a spare shaft adapter and center yoke, so I can go ahead and build up the spare set to be field replaceable just in a heartbeat with the little set screws in it. So that pretty much boiled down to I needed to get a camera system for the 2 mini Talons, and I was going to use the Runcam, what is it, 4 split again, the 4K plus sending video signal to the video transmitter to go to the ground, and reordered them on Amazon, and these cameras came in and it said Runcam split 3 on it. And I'm going, wait a minute, I ordered the 4 the last time. I got the box back here out and looked at it and said, yeah, it's the split 4. And got to looking at the split 3, and they were just 1080. They weren't 4K. They weren't even 2K. They were 1080. So I sent those back. Then I searched the world. I should have bought some more of those cameras when I bought the one for the Mini Skyhunter, because they're scarce as hen's teeth in the world now. I actually ordered what are supposed to be Runcam Split 4Ks from Banggood, and they're not supposed to ship until the end of April. And then they could have a 60-day ship, May, June. We're talking the 1st of July now. That's with no delays. So that kind of got things a little bit gummed up here. Not happy with that, but what can you do? I'll be looking for another solution. If I find it before those cameras come, I may put it on one or both of these mini Talons and just keep the other cameras in reserve. I don't know it's a little upsetting that it'll be almost 90 days. I had scanned disk cards, 120 gigabyte cards, ready for the cameras when I ordered them from Amazon. Yeah, that wasn't to be. Ordered some resistors, just a general pack, because I can use them. I'm going to try to modify some servos and try a different pan and tilt that I found online on my 3D printer. I really, really badly do need to be able to print my own spare parts, as you've seen in my short flight history. Such be life. I ran into another snag. I was building up the mini Talons and getting ready to glue the fuselage together, and this is the motor mount. I had to drill it for different holes because these didn't line up with the motor mounts there. I've been splitting out the back when I've been drilling these. It's really Don't know if it's cheap plywood or I'll blame it on myself. And I think I didn't. I drilled the holes for the screws I was using, but I'm using these claw nuts, as they're called. Blind nuts, claw nuts. They do have claws on the back of them. See if I can get that focusing. You can see the claws on the back of them. And they dig in from behind, and I called them blind nuts because you could go in from the front pretty blindly with a screw and find them in there and cinch down to them. But it seems the center section of these is a little bigger than the M8 screw I was using, because the first one I put them on, I split trying to get those claw nuts down through the hole and into that. I split this motor mount for the first mini Talon. As you notice, I have only drilled this one. I'm going to drill it a little bigger and try to put the claw nuts in this, and hopefully won't destroy this one. We'll see how that goes. But I found a 3D printable one on Thingiverse and went to print with my 3D printer, and darn, it won't print. It's got a nozzle problem. I've got some nozzles coming today, and I will replace that, and hopefully I can print me out a replacement motor mount and continue on with the building of these two mini Talons. So again, I haven't addressed the video transmitter part, but I have all the other parts: airspeed sensor, flight controller, GPS unit. I have all that, batteries, everything. I just have to make sure of my video transmitter solution. So the weight on the Runcam Split 4 4K camera systems is very, very depressing. And so if any of you guys have any nice solutions, let me know. Yes, I'm back to what I did with the other, what is it at this point? 2 that I've put together, where I use the Runcam 2 4K on top of a Runcam Phoenix 2 Josh Bardwell edition on some kind of a pan and tilt. The Runcam 4 split 4K system is less cost, much less cost. The Runcam 2 and the Josh Bardwell are about $109 for the Runcam 2 4K, and like $39 for the Runcam 2 Phoenix, for a total of about $146 if you buy the 2 of them. And the Runcam Split 4 4K camera is $86. So that's over $55 cheaper running it on the split. Plus the split just is more simple to handle. You power it up, it starts recording. You can do that with this, but this is 2 cameras. But anyway, the Runcam split for a third of the price was what I had just found. And I may have to go back to this setup unless somebody else has some kind of suggestion. But that won't keep me from flying. I just really hope I can find a solution, or possibly go back to this on one of them to test out a crossfire receiver before the 90 days it may take those 2 split 4s to come from Banggood. That's the only down item I've found on building up 2 more of these at this point. Other than that, basically, and find a solution for my klutziness. That's where the 2 mini Talons sitting right here in 2 boxes. That's the state of those bills. What else could I say about? Got lithium ion batteries to try in here too. I'll talk about the gear driven pan and tilt I found on, I think it's inside this Ardu setup, but I'll talk about that in a different video. And I can always print another one of these, of course. Don't really. Well, that's why I got these resistors. This has got that big old heavy 80 gram big servo in it. But that pan and tilt's actually made to use 2 micro servos. But I can never get a micro servo to go 360. But I've seen on the internet a modification using a 2K ohm resistor. That's the reason I bought these resistors. There's a bunch of them in there. Well, there's 1,000 in there of all different values. I'm going to try to modify a micro servo to go 360. And then this whole pan and tilt here becomes a whole different ball game, because the actual design of this, there's a servo right here pointing straight down, and it's captured between 2 of these 3D printed plates, and this plate doesn't exist. It just screws down to the base. There's a base for this that's not even here, and it's fixed to the platform, and then the servo that's in the center here pointing down is screwed to that base, and it's kind of a cup base, a cup within a cup, so it's real tight. I'll speak about that too when I speak about the gear driven pan and tilt I found on the internet. It's not in Thingiverse, I don't think. Anyway, that's getting too deep for this video. That's the status of the other 2 mini Talon buildups, and the reason for it's to try to start testing that Crossfire Nano Pro receiver, 500 milliwatt, half a watt telemetry. I don't know what else to say except thank you guys. Have a good one.